and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to make some dehydrated apple slices. We recently got a dehydrator, a food dehydrator, and we've only used it a couple times so far, but it works really good and we're really excited about it. We're going to use it to preserve some apples and some other things throughout the year. I also got it to dry herbs because we're growing herbs and it takes forever for them to hang and dry. So it's going to be really awesome. So today we're going to dehydrate these 4 apples. We had 5, but my son just ate one, so now we have 4. And we got 2 Granny Smiths and 2, I think these are Honeycrisp apples, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So first we're going to wash them, and then we're going to dry them. So it's up to you if you want to peel your apples or not. I'm going to leave most of the peels on, but I am going to take off all these little blemishes and brown spots here. Our dog loves apple peels and she's standing there staring at me, so I'm going to give her some of these apple scraps. Come here, Daisy. We could have had some more. Before I slice these, I'm going to go ahead and mix up our citric acid water that we're going to dip our slices in. You can also use lemon juice for this, but I don't have lemons, but I do have a bag of citric acid. So what we need is a ½ teaspoon, excuse me, Daisy. You need a ½ teaspoon of citric acid to 2 cups of water. And this is a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm gonna use 2 of these. And then I'm gonna get 2 cups of water. Mix those together. And stir it to dissolve it up. All right. And we're gonna soak all of our apple slices in our citric acid water for 10 minutes. But first we're gonna slice them. So we're just gonna cut them in half. And then I'm going to use my paring knife to cut the cores out. So I cut the core out, and using a knife like this isn't the easiest way to do it. So if you have one of those apple turny things that like peels it and takes the core out and everything, use one of those. This will work too. You just got to get the core out. Normally I quarter my apples and do this, but I didn't want to quarter them for this. So now we're going to slice them in like 1/4 inch slices. So I'm just going to turn it upside down and I'm going to cut it in about 1/4 inch slices, very eyeballing it here. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the citric acid, and this will keep them from turning brown, and repeat. so it's been about 10 minutes that our apples have been in the citric acid solution. So now we're just going to take them out and dry them on these paper towels before we put them in the dehydrator. We want to try to get as much moisture off as we can, because otherwise it'll take a really long time to dry. Now I'm just gonna pat them dry. Alright, so here's the dehydrator, and what we're gonna do, we just have the plain trays. I'm not using any of the inserts or anything. I'm gonna put all the apple slices in here in a single layer, and then we'll turn on the dehydrator. And I think I'm gonna do all the green apples together and then all the red apples together. If you're using the same dehydrator, there's one tray that has to be on the top, and it says top, so make sure you don't put that on the bottom. We need to turn it on to 145 degrees for an hour to get it, to get the moisture off from the citric acid water. And then, so I'm gonna put that on for an hour. And there it goes. These are gonna take a while, I think. I'm not sure how many hours, hold on. According to the book that came with the dehydrator, it takes about 8 to 12 hours to dehydrate apple slices at 135 degrees. So I'm doing it at 145 degrees for 1 hour, and then I'm gonna turn it down to 135 and go for somewhere between 7 to 12 hours. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on it and see how they're doing. I'll see you in a few hours, which for you will be in just a second, and we'll see how they look. Okay, so the first hour is over. It just shut off because I set it for an hour. I am gonna set it at 135, and I'm gonna put it on for 8 hours. And then we're just gonna keep an eye on them and see if they're getting close. Because they're already starting to get a little dried out. But you just want to wait, you just want to do it until they're like leathery and there's no moisture really left in them. So we'll keep an eye on them, and I'll show you what they look like when they are finished. After about 8 hours, most of the apples were dry, so I took the ones that were ready out, and then there was a few that were still kind of not done, so I put them back in and put them in for like another hour just to be safe. I was just squeezing them to see if they were still kind of squishy, and if they were, I left them in. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.